Two of the best in the business upstairs, Michael Voss and Tim Lane.
Okay, Tim, I'm just saying Malcolm Blight and a full moon's a dangerous combination, isn't it, Tim?
Absolutely. Bit of off-field feeling in this game, of course. Remember that Eugene Arocca left Collingwood to go to the Kangaroos as CEO. Lifelong Collingwood supporter, but jumped the fence. Kangaroos turned the ball over early, and Medhurst drives Collingwood forward to Didak in good posse. Pratt just sagged a little and couldn't close the gate in time.
Well, they weren't able to get too many marks last week inside forward 50, and that turnover there, but it was the quick play on. Got up straight away, Medhurst, play on, found Didak.
What's the feeling in the box, boys? Michael, who are you going for?
Oh, look, I really do think this is a 50-50 game, but I have gone for Collingwood by about 2 points.
Malcolm?
I'm a bit similar, actually. I think the Pies.
I'm on the Pies.
And I'm going for the Roos.
For the first score, Didak gave it the big wind-up. Just missed. I think they were Collingwood fans going up in anticipation. He's kicking to the end, of course, that the Kangaroos were going to when they lost that controversial round 1 fixture against Collingwood last year.
Pratt short to Brown, who was dropped in the finals last year, was out of favour at the start of this year, but got an opportunity through injury and has made the most of it the last few weeks. He's been a very solid contributor for the Kangaroos. Here's Simpson. Clever little kick around the corner, and it finds Harvey.
Where you are, right out. Thanks, Reece.
Goes to McIntosh, and he just bangs it long to the 50.
No.
Jones, beautiful reading of the football. He kicks, but it's across the face. And will it stay alive? Not quite.
Well, just looking at that build-up there, Dean Laidley had written on his wrist, I think the word was notes, Michael. N-O-T-E-S. We can just see that there. If you were coaching, Michael, would you write things like that on your wrist? Well, we might as well get over and done with early.
Campbell over the ball, locked in. Another throw in, your chance, Vossi.
As such thing in the cricket term, just to let that one through to the keeper.
Is it to remind himself that he's got his notes there, he doesn't want to forget them?
Look, there is. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Just watch this unfold here, Tim.
We will. Clark tied up for the Magpies.
And the other matchup is Rawlings on Swan. He's gone straight to Swan. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Swan becoming very important to this Collingwood outfit.
Kangaroos close to goal. Fraser reaching over McIntosh. Free kick to the Kangaroos. Hale to take it. Oh, McIntosh, is it? The umpire getting his... Umpire Sully.
No, it is going to Hale.
To Hale. Against Heath Shaw. So he tried to tie up the second big
pickup. With all those bodies around. That is an unbelievable pickup.
So David Hale it is. Happy sounding Kangaroos team with their 2 inclusions this week, Hale and Harding. In comes the big man. He's normally a pretty good kick. And he steers that right through the middle for the first of the night.
Well, one of the advantages of having 3 umpires is that they can spot these little things. There was Shaw holding Hale. As Michael Voss said, it was a good pickup.
Before they've set the standard for tonight. And here's a setup, and this is a great pick-up by the umpire. As you can see, Shaw's not only holding the jumper, but also holding his arm, just to prevent Hale from getting third up.
Fraser high over McIntosh, got the tap, attacking it was Cloak. Nice pick-up too for a big man. To Pendlebury. And that's not 15. Didak. Nice delivery to half forward. Reece Shaw gets it moving quickly. Hale got into the McIntosh got into the hole, couldn't quite hang on to the mark, but they've got the football back, the Kangaroos.
After it, that was it.
And a free kick against Rocker. And it's going to be taken by Petrie.
And again, Collingwood playing on quickly, just outside 50. Seems to be a bit of a theme for the night. make sure you get into that forward 50 really quickly.
And it was well done by McIntosh to get back in that hole, but here's a turnover. And the mark's taken by Leon Davis. Little chip to Pendlebury. So they're working it slowly forward, the Magpies. Swan again back to Pendlebury on that penetrating left boot. Medhurst is outnumbered and falling back in the hole to take the mark is Smith, and he gives it off to Harvey.
Harvey, what a stalwart for the Kangaroos, overshooting the mark. He's won Brownlow votes in 3 of his last 5 games against Collingwood. Boomer Harvey. Heath Shaw to Lockyer. Collingwood setting up now. Here's Davis. And he has a pretty open 50 to work with. It's a good-looking kick for Rocker. What a beautiful delivery.
Well, if that's the standard, that'll do, mate. How good was that? I mean, you find some space and you find a bloke that can kick it. Michael, we were talking before the game about the most important ingredient in football, other than the obvious, is kicking it. And that is as good as it gets.
Yeah, despite the game and where it's going, the handball, you still have to kick. And you still got to kick it with accuracy.
Correct.
As does this man, and this could be a key moment in the match right here. If Anthony Rocker gets his hands on it early and kicks truly from a testing spot, he could be on. Started right. Magpies have missed twice. Kangaroos lead by 4 points.
Got the white towel there on his shoulder, Tim, the coach. I hope that's not a sign of things to come.
That won't get thrown in just yet.
Kick to half back. It was a long option by the Roos. Has it come off? Well, another turnover. Rawlings to Grant to Simpson. Kangaroos have numbers in the corridor. Shannon Grant gets it again. Now drills it up the middle. It was a sizzling pass. It was a beauty to Edwards.
Standard's just been raised.
And Edwards is probably just within range. He'll be kicking from right on the 50-metre paint.
It's a great lead, isn't it? I mean, he was 80 metres from the play then and led and read it.
3 goals, 4 in his 4 matches so far this season. From right on 50, that's a shank. And the Magpies waste no time. Johnson. What's he going to do with it? He goes long. Cloak's got to sit here. And a good effort by Frito. Did he chop the arms? So the umpire said he's chopped the arms. Frito, is he happy to accept that? That's a free kick to Cloak at half forward.
Look of resignation about Frito, as though he knew that was the price he was going to have to pay. At least he would slow the movement down. Johnson, another good kick in the Rocker direction. Well played by Shannon Watt. Had front position. Rocker shunted him out. Big task for Watt back there. You can see a jumble up ahead of him. Goes where the numbers are, but he hasn't got the carry to clear Cloak. Hale to Frito. McIntosh. Poor kick. Wells just not able to accept the half volley. Holland giving it to Reid. Swatted away by Rawlings from Medhurst, so a throw-in.
Tim, just while I've been watching that play go up and down the ground, Didak is actually by himself back. You can see him just in the bottom right of your screen. He's been racing up and down the ground by himself. He's using a lot of petrol. I just wonder, in looking at their loss last week against Carlton, to have him more in the structure of a forward line than just be by himself doing I'm not sure what, would be more advantage for Collingwood.
From the throw-in, Clark fed it out to Wood. That's a good handball to Holland, to O'Brien, and that's out on the full. So it's got a funny old start, hasn't it?
Just a continuation there, Malcolm. The Kangaroos do like to get their numbers back. Their halfbacks will try and drop off their half forwards. So I can't imagine Pratt trying to move up and around the ground with Didak. He'll just make sure that he's got that defensive 50 under control.
Nothing electric about the beginning of this match. Just turned into a real arm wrestle already. Wells. And Hale has had a bit of a football early.
Steady build up.
I mean, they've already had 5 inside 50s, Collingwood, and really haven't got a crumb yet. You know, I mean, a pattern's developing.
And that's a solid mark taken by Petrie. So slowly but surely for the Kangaroos as they move it towards their 50-metre arc. Now Brown Oh, that's another ordinary kick.
Fix this up.
Oh, good hands.
Super hands.
It was O'Brien to Holland, and he finds Cloak.
Now all the numbers are behind the ball.
And Johnson having to collect and then try and get set up on his left was always going to take a bit of time. Reid giving it to Cloak, pumping it to the 50 again. Rocker having to crumb here, and he's picked off by Wells. Kangaroos controlling things so far. Collingwood playing like a team whose confidence has been bruised by last week's unscheduled loss. Petrie the long ball at the back. Jones collected beautifully, and he missed. Oh.
Gee.
Shocking miss, and he knows it.
Tell you what, though, there was a great example of advantage of getting the ball inside 50 quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was also a crummer, but I mean, I'm still fascinated by the skills of most modern-day players, but I always wonder why when you're kicking for goal you don't kick up. I reckon you always kick truer and follow through with your kicking the ball up rather than lower.
That's a beautiful kick from Clark to Thomas, and he loves taking them on. Goes to short option and finds Cloak.
Straighten them up nice there.
He'll kick into the corridor and running down from defence and taking the strong mark is Brown. There was some hard running there.
Can he roost it, Michael? Young fella?
Yes, he is a massive kick.
He's a big unit, isn't he? Only 19 years of age. Almost from a standing start. It's a thumping kick.
Push again, Anthony. Advantage.
Advantage played. It was against Rocker for a push, and now the Kangaroos away. Harris has got the football.
Well, such is the enigma of Rocker. What might have been a dream start could become a horror one. Harvey just couldn't escape, but he had support from Thompson. And Harvey collecting his thoughts and doing well. Thompson. Thomas. Kangaroos Thomas, but Johnson equal to the challenge, so a throw in. It's that low kick, Malcolm. It's become fashionable, the low shot at goal, the one you skid home, and it doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't always work, and I always think you eliminate one area of that is someone touching it, even if just for that reason.
Fraser a clean tap. Rocker off. Wakelin taken over by Thomas. So is that for a chat, Vossi, do you think?
Well, I think so. He's had 3 free kicks against him. There will be a point in time, I think, where he needs to speak to the coach and start going at the football rather than trying to wrestle your opponent all the time.
Here's Harvey to Wells. His acceleration helped him find some space. Kicks into the forward pocket and the throw in. Just scooted away from the pack there. Couldn't quite finish his good work. So deep in the Kangaroos attacking territory. There's Rocker.
He's probably got sore arms from pushing everyone, Michael, resting them.
So it'll be Hale against Fraser. Oh. Nudge out from Hale. He got away with it. Was that a push, surely? Oh, good attempt at goal. It's through for a rush behind.
Just getting back to saw Dean Laley a little while ago, just with that word notes on him. As we look at this, that's, yeah, sometimes as a coach you lose your way, and just to have a little reminder of look down at your notes that you've talked about being positive. You might have 3 or 4 points on it only, Michael.
I'll take your word for that, boy.
It's 50.
Report.
It's 50.
Report. No, don't worry about that. Charlie, let's go. Report it as well.
Hayden
Josh,
Kennedy
you've
not
got to
messing
report,
around
okay?
with that. That will bring Josh Fraser to within kicking distance, comfortable kicking distance. Daniel Pratt paying the price for overplaying Fraser.
Just at first look, it was certainly a 50 under the rules. A touch late. I wouldn't have said drastically late.
After 1 or 2 that have escaped punishment in the last week, wouldn't imagine he'd be in too deep. Collingwood still looking for its first goal. Fraser from 48. And he delivers the goods. Lovely kick. Magpies on the board.
Probably a lot of questions being asked there by Dean Laidley. Did he think it was, or he's pretty rational about the whole episode?
He'd only be worrying about the things he could control.
Well, let's have a look at the report. Fraser takes the mark.
Oh, I think he almost put his hands up to protect himself, to almost to avoid him, didn't he? Kept his elbows out of it. No, I'd say that's pretty well done.
Yeah.
I think it's 50 metres, but
low on malice.
Yeah.
Scores level, 1-2 apiece. Didak. O'Brien, that was, well, it was potentially clever, but didn't quite come off as the Kangaroos win it back. Simpson, not the best of kicks inside 50. Wakeland under pressure. Wells looked switched on but went without it. Still an opportunity here. Jones on his wrong side. Sneaked it home for 1 point.
The one thing the Kangaroos are doing well is they're getting numbers to the fall of the ball. They are winning the ball at ground level inside their 50.
Heath Shaw for O'Brien. And he's got a bit of space here. Scythes through it. Kick falls short. Pendlebury didn't read it. Harding did. And the Kangaroos can build again. Edwards playing half forward. Brown lined up against him. Thompson a long way from goal on that lead. Goldsack back in the Magpie lineup. Lockyer, good kick. Reid will take a free kick. I don't think the mark was paid.
It's actually interesting, Tim. You know, the stats say that North Melbourne's best quarter has been their first and their worst has been their last. This is good for Collingwood.
Reece Shaw, he's quick, but he just couldn't find a path through. He goes back to it. Did pretty well under the circumstances. The Kangaroos are applying good pressure. Leon Davis. Shaw again, mown down. Strong tackling from the Kangas, but Davis comes away with it. Swan appealing for a free kick. Rawling mops it up for the Kangaroos. Filled them up together. Brown from a long way. Gives it the big wind. Another miss.
What you're alluding to there, Malcolm, is North Melbourne have won every first quarter this year. In fact, they've outscored their opposition 135 to 46. They've lost all 4 last quarters and have been outscored by a total of 54 points.
Ooh, that's sloppy.
Swooping is Harvey, breaks a couple of tackles. He's got a few options in the corridor, and he goes to one of them. Brown, clever, just tapped it on to Simpson. Hurried left foot kick. It's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing. It's a goal.
Well, the errant kick can certainly hurt. And just a lovely tap on there and a good finish. It was a turnover in the middle of the ground, and all they hurt in that part of the ground.
Sometimes maligned for his disposal. Adam Simpson made no mistake and creases the brow of the Maguire family. Second goal to the Kangaroos. Bit of an old-fashioned palm on by Lee Brown. You don't see that very much these days, but it worked well. Magpies forced back even though they're in possession. They've taken it right to halfback. Pendlebury to O'Brien, and now Dale Thomas. But Collingwood not starting well here. There's not a convincing, confident look about the Magpies right now.
And this is what they're forced, the Kangaroos have forced the Pies to do. They just stem their run and flow.
Ben Johnson, who's very good at creating it, goes for Rocker, but it's a bit strong. Medhurst, lower, trying to hold him up. Medhurst. Swan is there, just couldn't quite hang on. Didak. Oh, cleverly done by Pratt. Well done. Rearguard action by the Kangaroos. That's a good result for them. They held up well.
I was half expecting a Didak Ronaldo effort there.
He thought about it. If you watch, as the ball hits the deck, just before he comes in a screen there, He nearly threw his leg at it and thought, I better not do that, I might get in trouble.
McIntosh, high ball in the direction of Petrie. Now Rocker. Kicks to Wood. And that's a good option. Not quite on the full to Pendlebury. It's good trap on the half volley. Medhurst. Johnson should goal. And we've got a 50-metre penalty here. It's going against Didak, I think.
Wasting time, Alan.
Oh, wasting time. Must have thrown the ball away after it.
Is that why the Kangaroo fans were so irate? Because Didak wasted time?
Yes.
Footy fans. This is Harris. The Kangaroos lead by a goal. Not a first quarter that will etch its way into the records of this season as one of the really great ones. Could be a slow burner tonight. Ferrito now for the Kangaroos. A lot riding on this game. It's a nice kick. Flat, quick, long. Thompson trying to juggle it down. Rocker's having a bit of a run. Clark just swinging away haphazardly. The numbers are against Lockyer, but he's the first man there. Just has to go for some territory. Chopped off by Shannon Watt. The chop of the arms goes against Ben Reid. And Watt has made a couple of good saves already in this first turn.
Shorts it to McIntosh.
Seems an obvious tactic. Malcolm just chipping that ball around, being patient.
Hale in between a couple. And the big fly was from Goldsack. Harvey does the discipline thing. Oh, Thompson almost got his hands on the footy, but not quite. Goldsack again. They're under enormous pressure, the Magpies. Goldsack in between three Kangaroos. Did really well. Good handball. Over to Johnson. And Shaw gets the free kick. That's Reshaw.
Right there.
As Campbell landed a little heavily after that contest. Wood. Now it's the Magpies with the ball on the corridor, but not for long. Great pressure from North Melbourne. Harding over the ball. Fed it out to Brown. To Rawlings. To Power. And now breaking wide is Grant, and he can mark and go. Could almost kick a goal here. Shannon Grant decides instead to pass, and pass he does to Nathan Thompson. Their pressure is fantastic, the Kangaroos.
There's more conviction about their game.
Well, the ability at the moment to be able to win the ball around the contest, feed it back, and then run and spread. And I believe that was a deliberate kick.
Nathan Thompson playing his 50th game for the Kangaroos tonight. He's 11-4 from set shots this season. His haul for the year is 12-4, converting at 75%. And he nails it.
Well, that's the... We spoke only 5 or 6 minutes ago about the good sign for Collingwood with the Kangaroos not starting as well. All of a sudden, a couple of goals later, and you think, well, they've won this quarter convincingly so far. And he's done 2 of those kicks now, Grant, hasn't he? That just find the right target. And that'll do confidence a lot of good for Thompson. He's got his hands on a few balls, but can't hang on to them. So that's an easy, that's a gift.
Collingwood in some early trouble here. Just not a lot of spark about them. And the Kangaroos have a 2-goal break. Fraser favoured by the bounce, down to Reece Shaw. Oh, what a screaming leap by Wells. Oh, they just needed to hang on to that. And he had a car to drive home in. Lee Brown. Harris. Wells is running for him as he recovered his equilibrium after that. Good comment earlier quarters. I think that he looks on. He looks as though he really has his mind on the job. Hale giving it to Power. Who's he after? I'm not sure really whether he knew there. He just blazed, and Heath Shaw's able to mop it up for Collingwood. The Magpies get out of jail. They were under the pump again. O'Brien gives to Brown. And now Didak. Couple of minutes left. Skidder from Didak. I'm not sure whether he was after Swan or whether he was wanting Cloak, the next man in line. He's got Cloak now, and here comes Thomas. Just couldn't get over the top of Harding. Well done by the Kangaroo man. It might have been deliberate, but he's got the result that they wanted.
Yes, yes. Have a look at this. What a shame.
Oh.
He actually just turned his head away. It's, the ball dropped on him a bit.
Now, what will the umpire do here? He calls for a bounce, and rightly so.
Did you ever get that high, Michael?
Not too many times, mate. Not too many times.
He got a card, did he, for his Jackie Chan goal?
Yeah, he did. Great tap.
Thomas lost a handle on it. Kangaroos just at the moment seem to have an extra 1 or 2 men around every contest. They lead by 2 straight kicks.
Yeah, their ability to be able to win the ball at the coalface has been very impressive so far in this game. And you mentioned about getting the extra numbers around there. That's perhaps the reason why they are.
Almost a good mark in front to Petrie. Oh, Didak clever to Reshaw from 55. But it's all Kangaroos deep in defence. And the easy mark's taken by Shannon Watt, who plays on to that famous number 11. Now worn by Michael Ferrito. Into the middle. No mark to Thomas. He's gone. He's gone. No, he's not gone. He's lucky.
Someone else has it.
Oh, I'm pleased, actually. Because I reckon they go too hard on this sometimes because the guys pull it in. They're getting better at pushing it back under. And I reckon that's good. Get the umpires to have a really close look.
Good roving by Shaw. Not quite for Swan, but he still has possession. To Didak, finds some space, bangs it from 50. It's a beautiful kick. The Pies needed that one. Well, for all the good work that the Kangaroos have done, they're only 6 points in front, Malcolm.
Spoke about this, Stephen, about getting those smaller blokes, goal kickers, Thomas, him, Medhurst, closer to goal. I mean, it's a lovely kick from 50, I know that. Great pick up from Swan. But this is what I like about Didak. Put him within range and he actually can kick a goal. And it's all right to free him up occasionally, but I think he's got to play forward more often. And we know he can finish.
Well, he's a brilliant one-on-one player. Inside 50. To have those players who can win that ball in a 50-50 situation, they're absolute gold to any team.
Close to quarter time. Mick Malthouse coming to ground level. Time for one play, perhaps. Can either side make something of it? Harding, yes, got the hand pass to Harvey for his 10th disposal of the quarter. But it probably needed to be cleaner if the Kangaroos were going to score. Well, the Magpies a chance. Didak, well done. And again.
Well done.
Half a chance. Cloak probably needed to kick it. Siren beats them. Quarter time. And that's probably a just result. The Kangaroos by a goal. So the second term underway at the MCG. Stakes high tonight for Collingwood and the Kangaroos. McIntosh the better of that one. Down to Jones. Swan couldn't take it with him. Fraser. Johnson onto his wrong side. Likewise Reece Shaw. Good pressure from the Kangas, but Collingwood extract themselves from a moment of difficulty. Goldsack. Josh Fraser. Just hasn't been a real coherence about Collingwood's game so far. O'Brien low, too low for Medhurst. Should have picked it up perhaps. Reid, dear, half-hearted hand pass. Rawlings, Thomas. This is lacklustre, untidy footy. Fraser again. Medhurst again. Dear oh dear. Mercy rule, please. Thank goodness.
Well, sometimes it gets slippery, Michael, a bit quicker than you think out there, doesn't it? You know, just that bit of mist starts to come in. I know it looks a lovely night, but if the ball's been on the ground a bit, it just can get a little bit slippery.
McIntosh the tap. Forced further forward by Corey Jones.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a look at his snap again from the first quarter.
Oh, good handball.
It was a good handball. Collingwood had possession. Fraser, little dish to Pendlebury. Nice pass to Heathshaw. Still a fair way from home. He's told to move it on. He chips. It's not a good one. It's cut up by Jess Smith.
Well, I looked up the forward line then. Anthony Rocker's lead was about 3 hours too early. He started at 4 o'clock. God, his timing's got to be better. You've got to wait till the bloke settles with a footy.
So Watt goes to Grant. Playing game 285 tonight. Harding. Another throw in.
Might have noticed at quarter time we replayed Corey Jones' shot, and it looked as though it might have gone through for a goal in the first quarter, but apparently it just feathered.
It did too.
Just a little dent there on the gloss of the padding. So close. And certainly there was no complaint from Jones at the time. Here's Didak, and now strong hands from Medhurst. Hard lead, really had to grip that. Rocker and Watt. Watt's been good so far. Both having to double back here. Two big men at ground level. It's a struggle. And Watt is quite athletic for a tall man. He gives to Pratt. That's dangerous for Petrie, but he's strong. Able to get rid of the tackler. Rawlings for Grant. Collingwood's turn to apply pressure. Sam Power, the former Bulldog. Edwards up in front. Didak. Both teams having to defend hard. Lock in out of Reece Shaw. Counter-attack upon counter-attack. Swan. Dale Thomas. This could be good for Collingwood. Pendlebury can go back and line them up.
Well, let's go back about 25 seconds. Sam Powell through the middle of the ground. He had Harvey as an option. Sometimes you just got to go with your strength, and the strength is give it to your ball runners, give it to your ball carriers, because normally they make better decisions. As a result, there was a turnover at halfback.
So Scott Pendlebury to tie it up here early in the second quarter. Man on the mark inside 40. Angle negligible. Good result for the Magpies. All even.
Yeah, used to the footy. I mentioned a few times tonight already, and it's almost, if you get a chance to kick it good and you should finish it off and you don't, it's almost a given now that the opposition will race it down and have a shot at goal at the other end. And I've got a fair idea that was going for cloak number 32, not Pendlebury, but right now Collingwood will take that, and yeah, interesting. Scores are level.
It's all locked up at 22 apiece. Scott Pendlebury, 9 disposals and a goal, so he's doing well. Power, good hands to Rawlings, who just pumps it long to a contested situation. Wakeland does the spoiling. Beautiful work by Campbell. How's that for acceleration? And great finish. Goal. Gee, made that look easy. It wasn't.
Well, that opened up. How much did this open up? It was amazing. Got the clearance out. It's this piece of play. Everyone runs away from him. He gathers the ball, and here we go. Everyone runs away. This will be a much better shot. That will be the easiest goal he ever kicks in AFL football.
Yeah, it will also be easy because they won the ball at the centre, kicked the contest in the screen, the little bloke picked it up. Gee.
Like the Red Sea parting for Moses. Just all opened up for Campbell. So a goal to Collingwood, the quickest of replies from the Kangaroos. Leon Davis gives Collingwood the forward move. Medhurst came hard. Harding just got there in front of him. Rocker trying to paddle it, couldn't reach it. Ploughing through Pendlebury.
His Harding's efforts have been fantastic, those last two. Those last two efforts were fantastic.
It's from a flirtatious goal sneak. He's turning into a durable defender.
There's one. That was a 50-50 ball that he won. Then he goes at it again. Another 50-50 ball, and he won it.
Fraser for Holland. Leon Davis having to wait for that.
You just dropped that ball!
Yeah, I reckon that's a good call. He did a Kevin Bartlett. He had it, he let it go and played for the free kick. Haven't seen that tactic used since the early 70s, Blighty.
And that's good hands on the wing to Wells. Free kick, Mark, whatever you like.
Yeah, it's interesting, that, isn't it? I mean, I still think you're allowed to tap the ball and not take it. And if the umpire can't read that you were smarter than the tackler, shouldn't have been a free kick.
Good score by O'Brien.
He took it though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If you actually tap it away from you. Here it is. Gee, I tell you what. Did he actually grab it?
Just.
I like that decision.
Yeah, I was more if he pushed it rather than sort of attempted to take it.
And another stalemate here. Reece Shaw 11 disposals for Collingwood. Brett Harvey likewise for the Kangaroos. There's Reece. Hale won the tap comfortably into the path of Wells. Good desperation from Reece Shaw to hold it up, and then he fed it out to Holland. Little soccer off the ground. Gee, it's hard to get a clean possession out there. Shaw, good piece of work again to Medhurst playing in front. No mark. Now he can take it and go as he wheels around and chips to Fraser, who's worked hard, needs courage here and provides it in spades. Great stuff from Josh Fraser.
Walk away, walk away, walk away.
Talk about history repeating. Daniel Pratt reported in the first quarter for coming late after Fraser marked. This time it's Shannon Watt. Similar. He went for the ball. I mean, again, there was no malice.
So Fraser gets it moving. Tip of the goal square. Ferrito gets back, spoils. Kangaroos won't concede the point, or will they? Yes.
I guess the question was, should it have been 50?
No, I reckon that was a good call from the umpire.
Took a mark though, didn't he? And then was flattened afterwards.
I think it was good play all round, really. Fraser was great, and you know what he had to do.
I've got the numbers. There are 30 or 40,000 Magpie fans in my corner.
I reckon you know sometimes it was you get a knock in footy.
Yep. Harvey, 10 first quarter disposals and a couple since. Short game being played here, and Edwards couldn't hang on to that. Kangaroos might get out of it. Powers having a bit of it. Smith, good kick. Grant.
It's a good contest, this one.
Grant and Heath Shaw. That's a very nice pass to Thomas. Still 65 out. Doesn't go for Brown. Goes long for Corey Jones, who got rid of O'Brien. Just seemed to wrong foot him, and he'll run in and kick the goal. Harry went to sleep.
Clever lead from Jones, but an even better kick, wasn't it?
Flat, fast.
Yeah.
With that, just doubles back. O'Brien drifts. Almost knew where he was going to go. Kicked it there, and Jones just got on the end of it. Wonderful play all round.
Yeah, I thought he was over his mark then, by the way, too. Look, Jones has gone back behind the mark and then he's allowed to play on. I think that's pretty poor umpiring. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, I mean, you're not allowed to do that, are you?
So he should have gone back over his mark.
He should. He took the mark and fell backwards. I mean, the mark's where the mark is. Slacked by the umpire. Played to the Collingwood crowd down that end, I reckon.
It's the Kangaroos by 11. As Collingwood go forward. Nice skills from Pendlebury. And a beautiful delivery to Rocker, who's well within range.
Well, this is a big kick for Anthony Rocker, just to be able to get settled into this game. He hasn't looked like it so far. So to go back, compose yourself, put this through the big sticks, will be important for his confidence in the rest of the game.
Just watching Pendlebury then. Does he ever get tackled? He's one of those unique players that just Wallace's. What does he do? Waltzes. Waltzes.
12 goals, 6 for Anthony Rocker this season, converting at 70%. That's a goal. The quick reply from Collingwood.
Well, again, just winning it out of the middle, just getting it forward quickly, just very smooth. And the composure to make a good decision under pressure. Anthony Rocker does it on the bit.
Not dissimilar to his kick in the grand final, that one, Tim, was it, back a few years ago?
About as straight. So each goal in this quarter has been quickly answered by the opposition team. And we're almost back where we started at quarter time. 5-point margin. Collingwood edge closer. Thomas helping it forward. Davis not quite able to collect. And there's a scoop out of there, so it's a Collingwood free kick. Magpie fans feel it was overdue. Game being played low to the ground. As Malcolm said, that full moon seems to have brought in a bit of Scotch mist. This is Vossi's old Brisbane teammate Wood, dabbing it short. Clever kick. Medhurst can line them up.
They generated that space very well. You saw in the screen what was ahead of Cameron Wood there. Just to be able to keep that space and for Medhurst to drop into, it's fantastic teamwork.
The Magpies haven't led since 3 minutes into the match.
He actually kicks us. He goes a bit left to right, doesn't he? It's an unusual kick. He'll come back.
Yeah, well predicted, Blighty, and it goes right through the middle. Collingwood back in front.
That's where I like to see him, closer to goals. And there's a nice mark too overhead. He's got a nice little spring. It's been a really good pickup, and obviously started off the season, other than last week, having a pretty good season. 4 out of 5 ain't bad, Michael.
Very good. Very unusual ball drop there too, hasn't he? Very straight up and down.
Magpies with 7 more inside 50s in this match, and they now hold the lead by 1 point. And the Kangaroos get the clearance through Simpson. High ball to half forward. O'Brien's wrestling. Third man up was Rushaw. Off the pack was Heathshaw. Now Didak couldn't control it. Simpson gets back there to Pratt, who had his number taken in the first quarter for a charge. And well done by Rushaw, who's playing an excellent game for Collingwood. 13 disposals. Quite a few little 1%ers also. Didak clever to Lockyer, to O'Brien. Back to Lockyer. And beautiful mark, overhead mark taken by Medhurst. And the Pies, the last 2 or 3 minutes, just looking a little bit freer in their style of football, and Medhurst will line up for his second.
Well, they looked freer because they were freer at that stoppage, and Didak wasn't manned up. Pratt sat off him. They come back inside. Damaging play. They were free through that part of the stoppage.
How good was that jump?
Good leap, wasn't it?
Oh.
20 seconds, Paul.
Medhurst for his second. And his 8th for the season. Pies by 7.
Yeah, that wonderful left to right kick. It's an unusual kick you see in footy. He drops it 2 hands, which is not the perfect way, but Didak's been good. I mean, he's a clever player. Have a look at this. I still think he's probably getting a few too many up the ground, but gee, what he's done, anything he's touched has nearly all turned to gold. Have a look at that. See, that's football intelligence, and you can't buy that in packets. You've got to be sprinkled with magic dust, and that's the only way you get it.
Wherever he is, he makes things happen. If he's got the ball in his hands, he's going to make good decisions.
Full moon, magic dust. This could be an interesting night. There's a long way to go. Simpson, little less loft on that than his last kick out of the middle. Magpies look to have it covered. Didak again, that's high, surely. Yes, it is. Collingwood free kick.
See, they were trying to brush a bit of that magic dust off his shoulders, Tim.
He does have it, though, I agree. He is a classy footballer. And Collingwood's call to stick with him when they might have had to have parted with him to acquire Nick Stevens. I think it's been vindicated. There's Rocker, having kicked his first goal for the night in this quarter. Might just be starting to get the rhythm of the game. Medhurst again.
I was about to say, the Medhurst turret deal is not looking too bad for the Magpies either at the moment.
What that mark is just sensational.
Yes, Dean, look at your notes, mate. I bet he's got a help clause. Certainly high. Have a look at that. You wouldn't believe how good a mark that is. That is sensational.
Fantastic.
Now, he's got to aim at the left-hand goal post and then draw it back. He fades it back in. Here he goes.
His football's a little bit different.
No, it started the wrong side, see? It'll fade away.
That's why we've got him. That's why we've got him.
Yep.
Austin McCrabb spoke complimentary about you, very complimentary fashion today too, Malcolm.
What a wonderful young fellow he was, Austin. For all those Cat supporters. Good fellow.
Pratt to Wells. He kicks and Richards. Almost a one-handed hanger, but not quite.
Oh, I can see it.
Someone out there wants a car tonight. And it's hard to get to that half forward. Nothing in that.
Happy to run into Brown.
Oh dear, what a fly. Harvey takes on Brown and kicks to the tip of the goal square. Solid, very solid by Wakeland. 15. And a 50-metre penalty to boot.
15.
And I'll tell you what, after that spectacular leap, we've seen a couple of great ones tonight. And no, I can see him going to do it. How good's that?
I mean, Hale's what, 6'6".
Yeah,
he's on his shoulders.
That was almost a Gary Ablett, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Setting away with one hand.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I reckon there's also a touch of Phil Carman in there too.
And also Nathan Brown will learn something. Never stand the mark and jump in the air with
Better
Harvey.
turnover. Better turnover.
It's off the ball from down there, so. Right out, Travis! Travis!
But while all that was going on, the Roos have got the ball back, and it's Nathan Thompson who stabs the pass into the pockets. Shannon Grant couldn't take the one-hander. Holland to Pendlebury. And the mark, no, is not taken by Reid. And Simpson kept his feet, and that's why he's got the Sherrin in his hands.
So the Kangaroos can build again. Harris in some space. Keeps it wide for Hale.
See that Ben Reid will learn. Don't need to fall over there.
Power thumping it into the 50. Or Jones had it spent. Clark takes it to the line.
Really interesting point this, Michael. There's Ben Reid as a young player. He's under a little bit of pressure out on that wing, and he fell over without anyone hardly touching him. At what stage as a young player do you know you don't have to fall over?
Hopefully straight away.
Oh, wonderful words of wisdom. Thank you very much.
Well, what do you say to instill that into a young player?
Oh, you just don't fall over. Don't get grass on your shorts.
Ben fell on his head after.
Jeez, stiff
Fell
there.
on his head afterwards.
Campbell. He was doing everything he could to avoid Didak, but he just, in the end, couldn't avoid him.
Now we see just at the top of the screen there, Rocker felled a North Melbourne player.
And this is Brown for Collingwood. Chips it. I'll say a chip. It was about a 50-metre kick towards Pendlebury. Again, great skill to Swan. Concedes some territory and goes back to Wakeland. To Lockyer. And they're going backwards at the moment, the Pies. Good defence from North Melbourne. So Brown at half-back. Kicks to the lead of Cloak. Overcooked the kick. Pendlebury run down by Lower.
Leon Davis, clever. The give and go. Back to Davis. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Magnificent goal.
There is no doubt in this lineup for Collingwood that they do have a few players who just have that X factor.
And it is such a factor, isn't it? People asked at the end of last year what made Collingwood good enough to nearly be in a grand final. A grand final that they might well have won had they knocked off Geelong. And it is those players with a bit of X factor that perhaps just give them the bit extra that other teams who didn't look a whole lot better on paper didn't have.
And he's one.
Thomas, Davis, Didac, Medhurst. They don't have big physical presence, but they have real closer to the ground skills and a bit of aerial magic in some cases too. Hale brought down by Swan. Collingwood applying the pressure. They've kicked 5 goals in this quarter. But Pratt gives to Wells. He's a man who can lift the Kangaroos. And this is a good move. Rawlings from a long way. Not a bad effort, just not enough.
I know he missed it on that occasion, but Jones, he just has a fantastic ability to be able to read the ball in flight. He reads it better than most.
Well, they've got a bit of a problem. This bloke is absolutely slaughtering them, Pendlebury.
15 disposals, make it 16, and Shaw's having plenty of it too. This is his 14th as he goes to Rocker.
Playing on a fair player too, Blighty.
He's just one of those lovely players, Pendlebury, isn't he? When he touches it, you touch it next. Your team touches it next. If he touches it 15, you know you're going to touch it probably 15 extras.
Back of the pack is Lockyer. Oh, it's not a great kick. Mark's taken by Harding. So it's the Pies by 2 goals.
Good running. Good running.
Harris is the man. Kicks to Harvey. Well done, Shaw.
Well, those two have had an interesting battle for most of the night. Reece Shaw, 14 possessions. Harvey, 13. So doing a bit of waxing, but a great contest.
Inside the Kangaroos attacking 50. Thomas. Got it to Johnson, to Swan. Stood up in the tackle and delivered to Holland. Good teamwork by the Collingwood defence. Now into the middle is O'Brien. Swan just kept on running. No one inside 50. Now the troops get back. Didac. Davis. Didac's given away the free.
I think that went long enough for that to be a 50.
Is there a knack to knowing when the umpire won't award it, Blighty?
Oh, absolutely.
I reckon Didac used that knack then.
I think what actually happened is Leon Davis kept on playing on and he kept on going with it. So it was actually, which one were you going to find, as they say?
And you see the Kangaroos just huddling half-back flank there.
Pratt goes for McIntosh, who hasn't had a big impact on the night thus far. Kangaroos could do with a goal. Magpies making the running at the moment. Late in the first half.
It is true, though. I mean, there are only a couple of goals out of it, the Kangaroos. It's not as though they're, you know, they've been blown away. It's been a while since they got their last goal, but, you know, there's still only a 2-goal game.
Harvey, power, Rawlings, good clean takeaway by the Roos. Awkward for Lower, who's gone forward. Free kick.
Let him up.
Jones to take it, high tackle. Harry O'Brien, the offender there. Now, how's the range? He'll be kicking this from just outside 50. Has 1 for the night, 13 for the season.
One of the problems when you get a free kick like that or you take a mark and hit the ground, it always takes energy to get up. So you've got to really steel yourself to kick it.
No, it's heading in the wrong direction. Marked by Edwards behind the line. Margin 11 points the Magpies' way.
Ben Johnson to do the kicking in. And he finds Holland.
Great kick.
Back after a long absence from the game is Brodie Holland tonight. Shaw. Disposal number 16. Back to Johnson. Now he kicks to centre half forward. Medhurst in front. Roving is Ferrito. To Harding. Difficult one, but beautifully done by Power in the middle. Back to Harding. Wakelin. No. Didn't take the juggler. Shannon Grant kept the footy alive. Brown. He's stripped of the ball by O'Brien.
Well done.
And the big H on the left boot did it magnificently. He goes out wide to Wood. The big fella has an awkward bounce. Oh, he's run himself into trouble. He still might get an opportunity here.
That's a long way back to collect that rebound, but there was no one else there. Now Lockyer, Collingwood still dangerous here. Coming up the ground is Reece Shaw, could go all the way from 49, and the Magpie Army like the look of it. So does Reece Shaw.
Well, that's a big win for Reece Shaw. A big win.
He's having a blinder.
Playing on Boomer Harvey for this game. And just to be able to sneak in a goal just before you have a spell on the interchange. Fantastic effort.
Here's the interchanges for Collingwood so far. They dropped back to 80 last week, but they're already 51 this evening. And Reece Shaw is having an absolute belter of a game. 16 disposals, great goal, and all beautifully set up by Cameron Wood, Tim.
It was. He went the long way home, but he got there.
And there he is in the ruck against Hale, who got the clearance. Kicks to open space at centre half forward. They need the next one, the Roos. Collingwood could sneak another one just before the main break. They're in good shape. Good attack on the ball by Goldsack. Here's Wood again. He's run down by Hale.
Oh, well, no, good pressure.
And O'Brien kept it alive. Smith to Power. Has time to use it well. Decides to pop it up to a contest. Jones caught high. It was unlucky from Brown.
High tackle first, okay? Come right over his shoulder.
And Jones needs to kick this goal.
Whoa, this is a settler.
Corey Jones has kicked a goal, a poster, and 2 other behinds. So it wouldn't be chock full of confidence lining up for this, but really for a player of his stature, should be bread and butter from here. But we know it's not always that easy.
Well, he certainly looked very dangerous in the first half. Got his hands on plenty. They need this goal, the Kangas.
And he's missed it badly. 1 goal 4 to Corey Jones. And it's the Pies with a very healthy 16-point lead.
That was a bad miss. He's missed them in a few different ways. Feathered the post in the first quarter. Should have kicked that. He should have at least 3.
Well, he's kicked 1-4, so it's a big difference between 4-1 in terms of your day, Blighty. That is for sure.
It's about 3.
Heath Shaw. Oh, that
gets
is a
another go.
nightmare. And Corey Jones lined them up again. Well, just before half-time, it's not what you'd want, knowing that you've got to go and face that man in a couple of minutes' time.
Your last man in the rooms, wouldn't you?
And you'd stand right at the back of the group.
Yeah, straight to the medical room. Stop. Hide me.
Terribly dangerous kick, really.
Well, look, just every now and then you've got to look up at the clock sometimes to just have a look whether it's time to settle or do a play like that.
And Corey Jones having to steel himself here after a string of misses. He's missed again. Oh, and he's got to go and face his coach with 1-5 next to his name. It's half-time at the MCG. Collingwood have produced a 6-goal second quarter for a 15-point lead.
Their brilliance was fantastic. It was a lively quarter and deserved this lead. A couple of misses there by Corey Jones.
Still a half to go. It's only 15 points, which in the modern game is absolutely nothing. Collingwood 8-6, Kangaroos 5-9 as we start this third term. Fraser fed out the handball to no avail. Reid overran it. Nice little pick up by Harvey. And he dishes off to his old mate and Simpson. To Harris. Ran into a wall there. Thomas got bowled over. And Pendlebury to Reshaw. So Collingwood now on the attack. Reid. Nice sweeping handball back to Pendlebury. Good build up by the Pies. Johnson. Umpire calls play on McIntosh. Gee, it's sloppy. Now Harvey. And he chips sideways. And here's a clear opportunity for the Roosters. Smith drives it long. Brown's underneath it and takes a good mark, running back with the flight. Lee Brown kicks into the goal square. Big pack fly. Thompson! Great mark!
Taking the mark, clearly, in the goal square.
In the square, so he's straight in front.
Nathan Thompson in a huge contested situation. That's a good old-fashioned pack mark if ever I've seen one.
God, he's run back into trouble too. That's a super grab.
Absolute cracker.
Who does he think he is? Wayne Carey. That's the trademark, isn't it?
Yes,
And
it is,
the all-important first goal of the third quarter goes to the Roos. Wasn't it? That was really Carey-esque.
Well, the Kangaroos have set the standard in this area, not just in the air. There's one back with a fly to the ball. We see it again in the very next kick. Also at ground level, they're doing it, getting in first. So they're setting the standard for the night. They've just got to now capitalise on the scoreboard.
Well, they've got forwards with a bit of size about them, and that's really what they've got to do, isn't it? Inspiring mark from Nathan Thompson. And that's a very important goal. The Kangaroos had to kick the first. Margin 9 points. Fraser and McIntosh. Clean win to McIntosh, but straight to Didak. Thomas leads Harvey to it. Oh, Didak's down and in a bit of bother in the middle of the ground. We'll get back to that. Thomas to Reshaw. Now to Pendlebury. Didak's up, but he stung. Oh, that's brave from Pratt. Just didn't flinch, and in the end, got the reward of a stat.
Left arm for Didak. Tim doesn't look all that flash.
Petrie to Grant, forced to retreat. Kangaroos have got to be careful here. Petrie getting rid of Medhurst. Just too strong for Campbell, who was meant to be on the end of that. O'Brien with plenty of helpers there, and the Magpies are away. Brown to Pendlebury. Oh, and the Shepherd are dealt with there crudely by Campbell, who brought down Lockyer. Magpies go forward, but Kangaroo defence stands up again. It's Farito.
Just keeping the glasses on this behind the play at the moment, Tim, just in case it's all broken up between Campbell and Lockyer.
Didak straight to the rooms, as you saw.
Yeah, didn't look good. And we'll have a throw in on centre wing. Now, here's the Didak incident.
Well, after your spotting last week, Quarters, look out.
Andrew Marr.
It looks like the wrist, Vossi, when he came off with his shoulder, as you can see there. He's holding the wrist to prop up that shoulder, so he might have popped that out.
Pendlebury playing an excellent game. Off to Johnson. Long left foot kick. Leon Davis caught behind. Kangaroos again have the numbers. Pratt run down, just got the handball away in the nick of time. Just. Simpson under the pump from Davis. Davis won the football back for Collingwood. Fed out the handball to Cloak.
Got to do something about this.
Pendlebury, left foot snap. He's offline. Sorry, Michael.
Sorry to talk over you there, Quarters. They've got to do something about this bloke here. He's now had 20 possessions on fire in the first part of this third quarter.
Pratt just getting a legitimate hand pass, and Simpson too could have been under the pump, but the umpire was perhaps a little generous.
And Tim, 2 weeks ago, that would have been in the back. I'm glad they've got rid of that soft one, those umpires.
I thought you liked the bloke playing the ball being rewarded.
I do.
You're a contrary man, Malcolm.
No.
Hands in the back. Drew Petrie.
He was going for the ball,
Josh,
making the
hands on
play,
his
and
back.
gets caught underneath it. They haven't played anywhere near the amount of holding the balls, which I think is better for the game.
Agreed. Petrie's ball. And now Harris. Margin 10 points. Hasn't been a great game, but it is tight. And it brings back memories of that round 1 Saturday afternoon game last year. They played a scrappy affair. The Kangaroos looked as though they'd got away with it. And then Collingwood came home with a 7-goal last quarter. And this has been similarly scrappy. And we've got to wait to see what's in store. Magpies have this covered at the spill. Travis Cloak. Oh, just too strong with the kick. Or was it meant for the man at the back lockout? Rocker. Oh, he was unaware there. Thomas hitting that very hard. He's brave as well as brilliant. It's on now. The intensity going up. And Rocker goes back for a bit more. O'Brien held by one arm, just managed to get rid of the tackler. Magpies ball here, but it didn't fall for Reid. Harvey, Watt. And he just lets that hang in the air for Harris to get there and take the mark. It was an educated kick.
It's an intense game. Absolutely no quarter given. Didak off. He's been a significant player in this game. We'll get down to Andy Murray as soon as we find some information on whether he can come back on. 14 disposals for Didak when he went off with what appears to be a shoulder injury. Lockyer to Johnson. Good kick out wide to Medhurst, who gets there. Medhurst looking to get it moving. No one in the goal square. Can he bounce it through? Great goal. Medhurst has got 3. Smart play from Paul Medhurst.
Just a great kick. Also from Johnson.
He's starting to be prominent, isn't he? He's had 5 inside 50s now, Ben Johnson.
Well, as a defender, if you've got a choice, if the forward has a choice to go both ways, it makes it very hard to defend. Medhurst had that option and then was good enough to finish.
Real concerns for the Collingwood Footy Club. This is the incident that saw Alan Didak leave the ground. He got that hit on the left arm. It popped the shoulder. He's gone into the room, still receiving medical treatment with the doctor and the physio both down there with him, yet to resurface from the bunker underneath the grandstand.
Collingwood again by 16, and they make a good takeaway. Lockyer. Just too strong for the leading Reid. The Magpies felt he was shoved, and they're not happy when the umpire doesn't respond to that.
Yeah, he's got it. I mentioned it earlier. He's got that habit of actually wanting to go to ground a bit too easy. I think if you try and hold, I know it was over his head, and that's bad luck, but you just got to try and think, keep your feet, and that comes with practice and time.
Petrie for Grant. The Kangaroos just taking a long time about their build-ups at the moment. And this is no build-up at all.
Just been able to keep them out of that centre corridor for them to launch an attack. Collingwood have certainly kept them wide.
Wood did well to pinch it out of the hands of Hale. Power fed out the handball. Hale. Little kick. Jones is there. He's got a couple of plays in support. Grant over the top to Wells into the pocket. Thompson tried to tap it back to Jones. Attacking it was Goldsack. Great stuff. Ball, yells the crowd. Umpire says I would bounce.
No, see, that's great decisions. Now they're back. They're smart again, umpires. They went a bit non-smart for a while, Michael, I thought. But how's that for an attack on the ball? And they were playing that holding the ball. That is sensational.
In the Kangaroos attacking zone.
No chance.
Grant, quick hands to Power. Now Grant again. Can he break the tackle? He can't. Back to Power. Brown just throws it on the left boot. Wakeland should mark and does. Not 15, but another possession coming up for Johnson.
And that might just be 15. It was on the edge. I reckon that 20-metre rule from the NAB Cup is a pretty good one.
I agree with you, Tim.
Good ball to O'Brien. Collingwood's build-ups are quicker, more direct, more dangerous looking. Jesse Smith, Petrie not expecting it. Jones is there to help. Watt. Kangaroos in control of the footy. Andy, Melmar, you've got something for us.
Thank you very much, Tim. Didak miraculously back. They've popped it back in. They've strapped that left shoulder. He looks ready to come back on.
Good news for Collingwood fans.
Andy, would you think maybe a little bit of pain-killing stuff?
You know more about that than I do, Blighty. I'm sure they'd be giving him something to ease the pain.
Well, this is dangerous. A 1-on-2 and swung very nearly. Did it on his own. The numbers prevail. Reece Shaw, big night. Holland. Bad kick. Pratt. Rawlings. Harvey. Kangaroos on the build. This doesn't look bad for them. Daniel Wells needs to put this into the right spot and does for Shannon Grant. They need this. 17 points down.
Want to see anything about modern footy? Brodie Holland's kick into this forward line compared to this one. How's that? Go D. Wells, number 8. Lace out.
And Didak about to come back on, boys. Just coming on for Leon Davis.
Good for the Magpies. Shannon Grant. To eat into the margin. Looks good. Back to 11 points.
Well, they're not going away, and that's good for the game and good for the... Have a look at that. Trying to be a kick in the forward 50, and compare it to this silk at the top end of the department. High above one of the high floors, that kick. And a beautiful finish from Grant.
First goal of the inning to Shannon Grant. Didak back on.
Straight back in the middle too. No mucking around.
The umpire not happy with the bounce. Wood smashes it forward. Here's a chance for Didak, but Ferrito gets there first. To Rawlings. Not a lot on offer, so he goes laterally. And it's not a bad option as he finds Pratt. That's not a good kick. Grant will have to work hard. Does get there first. Threw it out to Brown. The lead's on from Thompson. And great spoil from Wakeland. Good old fullback fist, that one. But Wells swoops with silky skills. But his kick's wayward. And it's marked in the back pocket by Wood.
Kangaroos starting to apply some pressure. And they'll put it right back in there. Ferrito up from the back half. Big McIntosh. Harvey, whistle, advantage to the Kangaroos. The defender, Ferrito, kicks it like a fullback.
Geez, they had their opportunities. They have had their opportunities.
Oh, Dean Laidley, he's tense.
Goal sack to Didak. Mark's taken by Swan. Back to Didak. To the wing, setting himself as Harding, who's been very solid this evening.
Tell you what I'd be doing, Blighty. I'd be just making sure that Didak just cops a little bit of treatment in that shoulder for a little while.
You're such a nice boy.
Well, we've seen the old Lions do that before. The old Lions philosophy. Then to Nick Revolt. Up at the Gabba. Rawlings in the middle. Oh, wasn't a great option. To Pratt. To Harris. Manages to get past Didak and cheekily has a bounce. He's on his wrong side, but it's a good kick. And the mark's taken by Campbell.
Just lost their way up forward for the moment, Collingwood. They just can't quite find a target, and North Melbourne starting to find theirs. Bit of composure, good balance, good poise. There's a bounce. Under pressure, beauty.
Matt Campbell kicked a great goal in the second quarter. Another opportunity for the Kangaroos, and they've wasted it again. 9 goals, 8 plays, 7 goals, 11. Collingwood by 9.
Bad miss, but good signs for the Kangas. Starting to put Collingwood under pressure, and the psychological pressure could grow in the Magpie collective psyche. Coming off a bad loss. Some big games ahead. Kangaroos wanting to turn the screw here. Edwards just wanting that bit of space. Finding it. Wells had the chance to run on. Decided against it. Can he kick it from there? Remember that match-winning goal, I think, at the other end against Carlton a few years ago. He doesn't go for it here. Oh, bad miss by Campbell. Not an aerialist, but dropped the head. Pendlebury to Thomas. That could be a turning point. Lockyer.
Oh, that is just silly from Brown. That was just dumb.
Didn't need to touch it.
Gee, 2 bad errors, clanging errors by the Kangaroos. That's the first.
Brown thought about it and said, yeah, I'll do it. He had plenty of time to change his mind. It was just ridiculous.
Rocker's 80 metres out, and even now there's a low rumble from the crowd as though willing him to have the shot. He had no chance. Thomas does from 45. It's well right. Neither side quite able to land the telling blow at the moment.
Pratt to start proceedings again. Kicks out in the direction of Brown. He was lucky to get away with that mistake before. To Petrie. He telegraphed that one. And lower is all wrapped up by Davis. Petrie has another go at it. Third time lucky.
Big win, yes. Big win. This is huge.
To Davis. Chip short. Mark taken by Medhurst. Big kick. Cross the face. And in the end, Frito, I think, is pretty happy to see it go through for a point.
Neither side quite able to land the big blow. Who's under more pressure here, Vossi?
Well, look, I think Collingwood are. This is very important for them. I mean, both sides need a win, no doubt about that. But Collingwood coming off a very bad loss last week. In the context of their season, they didn't lose 2 in a row last year, so they certainly don't want to start this year. Just to get that confidence up and going for the team.
Magpies having another go. Pendlebury and Swan. Lower getting a hand in there, but Lockyer's got it. Here comes Goldsack out of defence, giving Reid a sniff of a chance. Brown there too, but Farito. And the old number 11 to Harvey. Here's a big move. Big chance for Lindsay Thomas. Can load up from 49 and nail the shot. 5 points in it.
Well, it's really been the Collingwood forward line that's just been so wasteful in their efforts, and the turnover here once again. Reid goes to ground and he doesn't need to. Sorry to do that to him again, but that's true. He's out of the contest, and on the ground you're useless, and they race it away, and there's a good finish.
Five points is the Magpies' lead. And we thought it would be a seesawing contest. So far, it's been exactly that. Bounce favours Collingwood. Fraser. There's a free go at it to half forward. O'Brien couldn't quite get a handle on it. Kangaroos win it back. Harvey, little short one to Power. Gets it moving quickly. Back to Harvey. He manages to elude Didak. Kicks inside 50. Grant flew high. Corey Jones. He couldn't quite control it. Campbell's over the top. Now it comes out to Brown. Squeezes the kick out, and it's a good one too. Here's Didak. Keeps it alive. And looks for Medhurst. Good spoil. Ferrito to Smith. And the Kangaroos had options in the middle.
That's a good one. Harding. North on a bit of a roll here. 3 goals to 1 for the quarter. Lee Harding, oh, he's mown down. But he just managed to twist himself into the rocker tackle and take it high. Well, that bloke reckons that's a crook decision.
Actually, that was pretty smart. He was gone for all money, wasn't he? He just had the sense to feel him coming.
Edwards into a hot spot. Jones just couldn't get into the contest there. Holland in trouble. Grant can put the Kangas in front. He has done just that. They are on a roll.
And they are pumped. And they are pumped. They're on a roll, the Kangas. And look out, Pies. They're just hunting up the opposition. Grant was good enough to find it in close, find some space.
It's only round 5, but it's getting tense at the MCG. Laidley v Malthouse. Collingwood v North Melbourne. North Melbourne lead by a point. This time Hale has a free go at it, but he made a bit of a meal of it. But again, the Roos have the numbers. But they lost it. Davis pounces. Kicks out wide to Rocker. Gets it. Snaps. And kicks. The goal. Magpies back in front of the G.
No, it's not a goal, Court. It's not a goal. It hit the post, apparently.
Hit the post. Gee, the fans are up behind the goals. Even better. Scores level.
1-1. Corey Jones in the first quarter. Little touch. Now Rocker.
Gee, the fans were all up.
These games are massive, Blighty, in the context of a season where you're 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
You're sharing the same win-loss as the opposition. They are massive games to win.
There's a good angle on it.
Yeah, we talk about an
wrong side.
Yeah, it was actually 8-point game, but I mean, there's no such thing. We know that, but effectively, it just puts your gap away from them, as we all know. Here we go.
and Cloak and O'Brien, but it's been a good quarter for the old shin boners. Wakeland, Didak, back from the dead in this term. Reece Shaw, not so conspicuous in this quarter, but he's had 20 disposals for the night. He takes it to Fraser. Good delivery, good lead from the big man.
This is amazing, isn't it? 13 of the 18 goals have been kicked down the other end from where Josh Fraser is now. It's one of those anomalies of football, isn't it? In a stadium like this where there's really no effect of the wind, and certainly not of the sun on a night like tonight, Tim.
No, not a factor, Malcolm. Both teams 2-2 and scores level late in the third quarter. Josh Fraser splits them. There's no doubt about that one. It's the Magpies by a goal.
That's a lovely finish. When you want your senior players to stand up, you go back, composed, and kick that goal. Sets a great standard for the team.
Kangaroos chairman James Brayshaw watches on. Twin towers in the goal square for Collingwood, Malcolm. Rocker
Yes.
and Fraser.
Yeah, not surprising. Just to try and change something. That's good.
Wood against McIntosh. McIntosh tapped it straight to Lockyer, to O'Brien. Collingwood into attack. Ferrito's there, so is Pratt, who's bowled over. Got it to Ferrito, wrapped up by Cloak. Good big heavy tackle. 55 out from the Magpies' goal. There's Rocker up against Petrie. Collingwood 15 more interchanges. Didak gets boot to ball, but not really an effective kick. Power to Harding. And he loves going for a run, does Lee Harding. And he does just that. He kicks it long to a contest. Good, strong play by Clark. Stood his ground and did it well.
I'd like to see that again.
Bree. Collingwood on the counter-attack. Lockyer, this is a good-looking move. They've found space. Didak from a long way. Hasn't got the distance. Rocker and Fraser both there. Well done, Petrie. Kept his balance, kept his composure, kept his eye on the ball. And the Kangaroos hold up. Harris, good kick. Wells, such a beautiful-looking athlete. It's a good kick for Grant, who's had a good quarter. Kicked 2 goals for the term. Under 2 minutes left. Keeps it wide. Nathan Thompson. Remember that day here a couple of seasons ago? He took himself off in the last quarter against Melbourne in a tight finish. He was ahead of his time, as it turns out.
Yeah, that's right. Particularly when Melbourne have the most in the competition, it really makes a difference, Tim.
Lowest form of wit sarcasm. Thompson has 2 for the night. O'Brien takes it through, so the margin is 5 points.
Mark taken by Lockyer. Not a lot on offer. He goes back to Heathshaw. And he's also first forced to go short to Wakeland.
Probably should follow that up, Tim, to say that if you don't do it, you will get found out. How many you do, I think, is the issue.
Wakeland kicks to Rocker. Now he kept his feet. Ferrito didn't, but great third man in effort by Wells, who forced the spillage and the turnover. Now Rawlings to Power. Thompson's got to sit here. He'll attack the ball. And they'll have a bounce. 35 out from the North Melbourne goal. Just under 30 seconds left in this third term. Collingwood lead by 5.
It's developing into quite a contest, this. Not long left for a score. Perhaps Collingwood with the chance for the final assault, but Medhurst can see nothing up ahead. Now he can half distance. Johnson. Just time for Collingwood if they're quick and skillful. Fraser. That might just about be it. 4 seconds. Have to be one quick movement here. Collingwood by 5 points. Clock rolling. And that is it at 3/4 time. A kick in it. The Magpies, a nasal hair in front.
And Collingwood have had 20% more interchanges than the Kangaroos tonight. There's the score at the Gabba. Hawks by 3 points late in the third term.
Final term at the MCG. 3 of the last 5 clashes between these clubs have been decided by a kick. We might be going that route again. Collingwood by 5 points. Important takeaway. And it's going to be hard won. And Lee Brown's been pinned.
No! Give it up to here. No, give it up to here. Now, Josh, come here, please. Josh, come here. None of that. That's not nearly, but not quite. Now, wait.
Not sure what that does.
Fine.
Hayden Kennedy laying down the law. Leon Davis.
Moving on, please, please.
Takes it wide for Clark. Such a great start last year. It will be interesting to chart his course through this second season. Thus far hasn't been quite as auspicious, but he set an extraordinarily high standard for himself. Medhurst now for Didak. Now, could he do it from there?
Well, wouldn't put it past him.
Long range.
There it is.
Always seem to see him out against the fence here at the MCG. I remember one night against Brisbane in a final, Vossi.
He's out the other end.
It was. He kicked the ceiling goal from a bit closer in. He won't get one here. Rockers in front. Might stay in play for Harris. Just waiting for the right bounce. And then gaining another 40 or 50. The line would be a good result. That is a kick that John Beckwith would have enjoyed.
Actually, Tim, I think every time I've commentated with you, you've said the same line. And I thought I was going to miss it tonight. I'm glad you've done it. Thank you.
I haven't used that one for a long time, Blighty.
It's only you do one game every 3 years, Malcolm. Leon Davis runs to 50. He's a great finisher, and this is no exception. Collingwood by 11.
Ruckberg just laid it down gently. Good run. And this is second like that tonight, isn't it? On the run. Right foot in. Beautiful. Right shoulder on the right post and just drifted it back in, Michael. Perfect. There's Leon, very happy about that. And, of course, Dean Laidley, not very happy. And there's always something in a game of football that pleases somebody.
I'm glad we don't mic coaches' boxes, but it would be fascinating to know what he's saying at moments like that. Ferrito, well-placed hand pass for Harding. Lower from within range. The answering goal took about 15 seconds.
Well, this is a interesting bit of play. You'll see Lockyer becomes just a little bit committed at the contest. The turnover eventuates over the top and just able to run onto it and score the quick reply.
Believe it or not, that was the Kangaroos' first centre break in the second half, and just shows you what you can do if you get a good clean centre break. You can whisk it forward and kick a goal. Magpies by 5. Swan bangs it inside 50. Ferrito's done a terrific job on Cloak. Harvey to Smith. Now McIntosh has got the size. Well done to Lockyer, who stood his ground and kept his feet, and has got the football back inside 50 to Medhurst, who from a standing start goes bang. Medhurst has got 4. How about that? Easy as a walk in the park.
Well, it's just a matter of getting the ball out the centre, and eventually in the next 33 seconds you're going to score.
Look at that from Lockyer. He's beat 2 opponents there. He had to win that ball. He certainly had to get it to the ground and was good enough and agile enough to get it forward. Oh, that's just a sensational contest to win.
He's had a good night.
Yep.
Just about been the difference. A killer finisher up forward. Hamish McIntosh just attacked that one-on-one marking contest perhaps a bit zealously, lost his footing, and it opened the door for Collingwood. The Magpies are 2 kicks ahead, and here he is, Danger Man. Oh, lovely kick from Medhurst. Just hung a bit long, and Harding was able to make the spoil. Power in and under. Had to get it out. Davis, always dangerous. That's an example of Leon Davis at work.
Oh, it was. And also Lockyer, again, just to be able to compete in the air, keep your feet, as we've spoken about tonight, Blighty, and get a second crack at that, which created that opportunity, created that loose ball, and be remiss not to be able to mention it. Medhurst, get your thoughts on him in a second, Blighty.
Well, on tonight's form, Josh Fraser's kicked 2 very, very good goals when needed. Can he do it for the third and lucky time.
I reckon he can. His goal kicking has been spot on tonight. Big game from Fraser. Collingwood kick away.
Again, there's some critical contests in games, and Lockyer set up the last goal for Collingwood, and they rave on about it, but that's the second and third efforts I'm talking about. He doesn't win the ball there, doesn't get a possession, but plays such an important role in the setup of that goal.
A ruckman, 3 goals. Long time since I've seen a ruckman kick 3 goals, Michael.
Kangaroos have not won a final quarter in 2008. And the signs are not looking good as Josh Fraser has kicked 3 goals. Medhurst has got 4, and the Magpies have a very handy 17-point lead. Hale the tap. Forced forward by Harding. Well done by Swan. Magpies on a roll now. He's missed the target, but it's inside Collingwood's 50. Pratt out wide. Mark's taken by Harding. Just got rid of it in the nick of time. To Power. Kicks in the Thompson direction from the side. Didn't take the mark, but Grant did.
Collingwood free! Thompson! Came all the way to the top of him! Hey! Hey! Let it go! He's got on the ball! Yeah, you still fell into his back, Tomo. Doesn't matter. Fly on! Tomo, you've... I know you've...
Nathan Thompson not happy. Still seeking an explanation from the umpire. In the meantime, Collingwood whisk it down the other end. Gold sack to Thomas? No. And Thompson was saying, I was just flying for the ball. Let's have a look. And he was, well, he was in the back,
on the ball. It's a difficult decision, isn't it?
But he did fall in his back, didn't he? Hard one, that one.
Johnson didn't quite put himself in the contest. And at another time, an umpire might have said a Shepherd. Anyway, the game goes on. Jones, Wakeland, quelling Thompson, adding to the Kangaroos' frustration. Great spoil. An old pro, Shane Wakeland, going another round in 2008, catching the train to the ground. Probably bringing a Gladstone bag. He's been around for that long. Still alive here. Harvey weaving away through. Hale. Too far out. Needs to put it to advantage. Oh, Thomas, their only hope in the air. And on the ground, Brown, but O'Brien coming the other way. Got first hand on it and then loafed. Oh, it's getting Willie Martin. Clark laid a hip and shoulder.
Let it go! Let it go! Let it go now, Alan, get out!
To devastating effect.
Hey, Ed, don't need to go near him, okay? You go back and take your kick.
Bodies everywhere in that exchange. Thomas finishes up with the footy at close range, and the Kangaroos need a goal. Just Thomas's third kick of the night. Kicked a good long goal in the previous quarter. Misses from much closer. Magpie fans think of it as a fair and just result.
Dean Laylor says, what else can I do? Magpies 24 scoring shots. Kangaroos 23. Collingwood by 16. Still a long way to go in this final quarter. Marty Clark. Long ball. O'Brien. Now Pendlebury, who was a little quieter in that third quarter. Did he get a free there? No, he didn't.
Should have.
Now Kangaroos through Harvey. Goes deep. Standing back and down is Thomas. And he's missed. That is unforgivable. That is absolutely unforgivable. Well, you just think with those misses, it's just not meant to be for the Kangaroos tonight.
Gee, they've missed some easy ones, haven't they?
Corey Jones 1-5 in the first half. Thomas a couple of clangers.
Yeah, it's easy to look. Collingwood kicked 11 points and North Melbourne 14, but God, they've had some better opportunities.
Cloak to big climb. Fraser the crumb. He can kick his fourth. He does. He's been a star.
Well, misses from the goal scare will kill you, and it was so easy.
And
it was just so easy.
And that's how he treated it, Whitey.
Yeah, I know.
That's how he treated it.
He's really given them something up forward, Fraser, hasn't he? 4 goals as a ruckman. That just doesn't happen these days.
So here's the miss from Thomas, just too laconic. Dean Laidley pulling the hair out, and then down the other end, Josh Fraser. 4 goals from the #1 ruckman. It's a superb effort, and Collingwood very handy 21-point lead, but still a long way to go. Harvey, little short one, not 15. Rawlings to lower, sideways. Now Wells, and the mark's been taken by guess who? Lindsay Thomas.
Well, I reckon he'll be a little nervous. Very nervous boy.
Look at the angle too. We'll be able to run around here, but I'm backing him.
Well, I'd love to see a senior player go up to him right now and say that he can kick this, back himself in, have a shot.
Must kick goal for Lindsay Thomas. He's got it. Kangaroos hanging in there.
Not sure whether he's completely forgiven by that look.
No, he's probably... well, actually, it's the old 7-point play, isn't it? They're a point in front on his last 2 plays. So you'd win by a point if that was our only score for the day. But he can kick the footy. We know that. He got a nice goal earlier. But yeah, you can make it blue occasionally in this game.
Well, he now needs to let it go. We see him shaking his head there, and he's probably thinking about his play 2 minutes ago. He now needs to let it go. It's over and done with. Can't do anything about it. Move on.
McIntosh against Wood this time. The Collingwood man the better of it. Reece Shaw hacking it forward, but Pratt in the way. Kangaroos 15 points down. Harvey. Grant, but desperate, lunging, spoiled by Goldsack. Wells there to assist. Always has time. Lower just couldn't hang on. Holland, Pendlebury. Kangaroos with numbers around it. A little shovel from Campbell.
Hold the man.
Free kick to Grant.
Holding the man.
He's kicked a lot of goals from out near the 50 in last quarters, but he's not getting a goal here, at least not yet. What's he done with that? It might be good. Oh, Corey Jones. Campbell round the corner. Kangaroos are coming.
Well, they're certainly coming. I mean, there's some strange things going on out there.
It's full moon.
Yeah, full moon. I forgot about it, of course. How's the attack on the ball from those guys? That was sensational. And the perfect crumbing spot, of course. But I don't think anyone thought that the game would be a runaway at any time. We've all thought it would be pretty close, and it's certainly turning out that way.
Joffa's not happy. The gold jacket was out of the bag. Now it's back in. Matt Campbell with his 2nd goal. It's back to a 9-point ball game, and still lots and lots of time left, not even at the halfway mark of the final quarter. Thomas tackled by Rawlings, a secondary bounce. Harvey 28 for the Kangaroos, Lockyer 24, Pendlebury and Didak 23 each for Collingwood, for the major possession getters. Fraser, what a night he's had. Cloak, oh, good hands. O'Brien, Rocker, Lockyer doubles back. Pendlebury, not quite. Good spoil from Simpson. Then he attacks it. Pendlebury came up with the spoils. But Kangaroos win it back. Power to Wells. And look at him go.
Cruise control.
One bounce, two bounces. He sizzles through the middle of the MCG. Sweeps it wide. Can Rawlings finish? This will be a great goal if he can. No, he sprayed it across the face. What a mark to Thomas.
Left footer, got to bend it back.
Scintillating play from Daniel Wells.
Take it on. Take it on.
Will he go the banana?
Back 1 metre, quickly.
Hit the goal.
Back one.
Oh, it's at the post. Lindsay Thomas has got 2 goals, 3 on debut against Collingwood last year. In round 1, he kicked 5 behinds.
What about Daniel Wells? Oh,
What a sight he is.
oh, it's magnificent.
He's the nearest thing to Nicky Winmar since Winmar gave it away. Just in grace, elegance. Wakeland to Heath Shaw. Half a quarter left in the game. 8 points in it. Both teams 2 and 2. Collingwood and North. Malthouse and Laidley. Maguire and Brayshaw. Rocker versus a rocker. Kangaroos football. McIntosh. Corey Jones up in front. Clark to Lockyer. Kangaroos put the clamps on, but Collingwood slipped through the net. Goldsack, Johnson. Collingwood dangerous here. Wood had front position, now has to fight on the ground. Rocker for Didak. Just beyond range, probably. Curling ball. Brilliant kick. Magnificent kick. Not quite enough.
Yeah.
The behind of the year.
Dear me. It's got a bit of everything, hasn't it? It's had scrappiness, it's had greatness, it's had high flies, it's had great goals, great points.
All of a sudden, the Roos have got it at half forward. Shannon Grant dishes off to Smith. Now, what's he going to do? He's in 2 minds. Hems himself in the end and forced to kick high into the pocket. Little toe poke. It's a goal. I think it's Thomas. It is. Thomas has got 3, and Collingwood now leads this game by just 3 points.
Well, what fantastic theatre. This is an easy goal. Influential in a couple of others, and kicks this one. Fantastic. Just when we thought he was the person that might cause the loss, he's the person who might win the match.
No, that's what you thought, Michael. No, come on, let's not go there. I mean, it's. I reckon just keep playing too. Anyone filled the back line up? Not one to. Wow, no, let them play.
Too early, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, too early. Much too early.
Well, of the Melbourne teams, this is the biggest boy on the block against the smallest.
Johnson is back.
Yes, and Harding's free. So both coaches have got one back at the moment. Well, one of the coaches has done that, Michael.
It's no one else's fault.
It is on the knife edge. Fraser winning out of the centre, but Harding comes the other way. Well tackled by Reece Shaw for Thomas to bomb it towards Wood. What the spoil for Rito to collect. Petrie, Rawlings, Petrie again. Kangaroos rolling at the moment, shedding their inhibitions. Harding wants to go, has Hale inside short. Opts against that. Waits, has to go somewhere eventually, and he chooses the wrong option. Josh Fraser.
Well, they're using the energy, they're using the petrol tickets. They need reward for effort.
O'Brien, Lockyer, hard worker for Collingwood all night. Flat wide delivery for Medhurst. Dale Thomas. These two can weave magic. They might have done here. Medhurst well offline. Collingwood's lead 4 points.
Kangaroos are certainly playing some fantastic free-flowing football now. It's now that ability to be able to convert it on the scoreboard. Get that reward for effort.
It was a loose Kangaroo on the southern stand wing.
Get it off the ground then.
Smith, oh.
Yuck.
That was a shank. Somehow the Kangaroos keep possession to half forward. It's marked by Wakeland. Well, so the pressure at the moment, forcing turnovers.
The team that kicks good wins the game from here.
Wakeland goes back and deep to Clark. Little lead from Shaw, who's been a lot quieter in the second half. Now it finds Didak, and Collingwood have it at half back.
No one wanting to make a mistake right now. Heath Shaw. Under 7 minutes left. As I mentioned earlier, 3 of the last 5 encounters between these two have been decided by a kick. 4 points in it. Ben Johnson weighted down front and square.
In danger, Dale, move! No advantage! In
Kangaroos
danger!
ball against Thomas.
Let's
Oh,
see.
now, gee, if the umpire had seen that, it was almost a reversal.
It's all happening, Tim.
Oh, it is. Oh, Wells just loafed a little bit. Lets in Johnson. Didak couldn't see anything to go to. Fraser having a big night. The man Mountain from Mansfield. Pops it in short for Rocker. Not 15. And Rocker just let it go. There are Kangaroos everywhere. And we're not going to get them off the ground, Vossi. Short ball Wells.
50, is it?
Yeah, it is. Oh, history repeats. Shannon Grant with the benefit of a 50. This time he will rightfully be about 10 metres out.
Just needed to be 5 minutes later, didn't we?
Gee, that was a late call on Rocker in the middle of the ground. That was very late.
Rocker just seemed blissfully unaware.
In the square!
Shannon Grant
Come straight!
hit the post from this range in round 1 against Collingwood last year. Remember that? To put the Kangaroos in front. He makes no mistake this year. The Roos lead. Shannon Grant's 3rd goal in the second half. Kangaroos are coming home strong.
The only difference is, Tim, there's nearly 6 minutes of play left, which can be a fair bit of footy. Once again, it was just a mistimed kick. And when I say mistimed, Fraser just made Rocker come a bit harder than he wanted to, and the 15-metre wasn't paid. But Shannon Grant's got it. Oh,
Rocker
big finish.
Rocker off and Reid on for Collingwood. What a game of football. Round 5. High stakes already. Both teams with 2 wins and 2 losses in 2008. Oh, now that should be recalled, but it's not, of course, as Simpson puts it inside 50. This game has had absolutely everything. A quick snap. It's lower. It's bouncing back. It's a goal! Kangas by 8. Incredible stuff at the G.
You can ask Mick Malthouse the question about that ball up at the press conference quarters, because I'm not going to.
Well, you'll see it here. I mean, I've always think this, if it's not a fair contest, you go back in the middle. But the rule makers don't like that for some reason or other, and I'm not sure why. But it's unfair.
Well, the reason I think they don't like it, Blighty, is because it puts too much focus back onto the umpire. But I can't see how it can't put any more focus than that.
Got to be recalled.
Well, I would say we have a funny-shaped ball, which doesn't always bounce exactly where you want it to go, and there is rubber the green in the game. It's built into it.
Yeah, that's a fair argument from you all the time, but by the same token, if this was a grand final and that was the last second, how would that be?
I just hope it doesn't happen, Blighty.
So which green would you like to rub then?
Kangaroos by 8 points. Simpson, it wasn't pretty, but it got a result. And Ed Lower, who's kicked 2 goals in this last quarter, might make himself the hero of that Kangaroo crowd. Damien Sully was the umpire.
And in fact, in Adelaide, I had the rule changed, or as part of that, so that wouldn't happen. And I think it makes sense.
Single-handedly, you had a change.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, no, as a group of coaches, yeah.
Let's watch this kick. The accidental hero on the 5-minute warning button. Ed Lower from 49 for his 3rd goal of the last quarter. Not quite. The Kangaroos lead by 9 points. That tie is feeling a little tight.
Little short kick. Marked by Clark. Good kick. Finds Heathshaw. So away go Collingwood. They need 2 goals to win in the last 4.5 minutes of this match. Ferrito, more than happy to see it trickle over the line. What a job he's done on Cloak, guys.
Well, I was just about to mention, if there's one guy Collingwood need to be able to lift in this last 5 minutes, it's Travis Cloak. He needs to get his hands on that ball, create some direction for Collingwood coming forward.
Wood's on for Fraser, who's having a break. Thomas got it to Lockyer. Somehow got it to Wood, who puts it inside 50. Here's an opportunity for the Maggies. Reid couldn't take the mark. He's had a dirty night. Wells was clever. To Harding. To Pratt. Oh, changed his mind, but got out of trouble. And his kick finds power.
Gee, his blood was cool, wasn't it, Daniel Pratt?
Tim, I think, look, it's been brought up many times that about rebouncing, but I mean, I don't know why they don't.
Well, it's a bad miss, yeah.
And if it puts too much pressure on the umpire, you know what we do is interchange. Why can't another umpire come in and throw it up or bounce it? I mean, just get over it, I reckon. Put your ego in your back pocket for a minute.
So throw in Collingwood's half-forward line. Still plenty of time for the Pies, but they need 2 goals. Didak hacks it off the ground. Fortuitously it goes to Lockyer into the pocket. Ferrito doesn't need to worry as it goes over the line for throw-in in Collingwood's forward pocket. They must score a goal this 4-0 forward.
Nick Malthouse looking the more relaxed, but his team has its back to the wall. They need a goal. Wood against McIntosh. Swan is there, but behind. Not really the result Collingwood wanted, because it gives the Kangaroos control of the ball, and Collingwood need to score 2 goals to win this. Joffa is watching it slip away. Pratt, who had his number taken in the first quarter, so got away to an uncomfortable start. Might finish well, and Petrie gets to it just inside. He's been a good presence for the Kangaroos tonight. 28.5 gone. Collingwood need 2 goals. They've got to get possession first. Cloak is there. Reece Shaw. A throw. Kangaroos ball.
Is it out of bounds? Listen, we'll sort it out. Is it out of bounds before the throw? I didn't see a throw. I thought it out of bounds. Was he out of bounds when he had the ball? Okay. Throw it in.
Okay.
Took a fair while
to reach that verdict. The television, I reckon it was out. Although Reece Shaw was trying to get it to his teammate, so who knows what was going on in his mind. I think it's called pressure. Dale Thomas. They need magic right now. He's taken it the wrong way. Swan. And they don't quite know where to go. Didak does. Oh dear. Straight to Harvey. It's not happening for Collingwood. No. It is looking as though the Kangaroos might have grabbed this for the last quarter flurry. Brent Harvey. Well, it's gone so high it'll soak up a few seconds coming down. Swan takes a good mark for the Magpies.
Must move it quickly. To the wing as marked by Reece Shaw, who quickly turns around and kicks to Medhurst, who's had a big night, 4 goals. 50 metres, what a call. So Medhurst will kick a goal, you would think. And it's still game on.
Dean Lately, the North Melbourne coach there, be looking at the...
Medhurst, what's he thinking? Improves the angle. It's a goal. He should have just trusted his judgment. So Medhurst has got his 5th, and Collingwood can still win this game.
I wonder if Dean Lately was just looking at the time clock then. Just saw him stand
See
up.
what happened here. Pratt edging over the mark. He's drawn in by Medhurst's movement. And it was as though Medhurst had him hypnotised, knew what he was doing. Oh dear.
Another twist to go, Tim.
That was an unusual choice.
You never know what Paul Medhurst is going to do next, but tonight just about every move he's made has been a winner. He's kicked 4 goals, 5 goals, 3. What stress. Time enough left. Kangaroos by 2 points. Almost every time these two meet, it is tight. McIntosh for the Roos. Important ball here. That's a hold, surely. Not paid. And Davis out of trouble. Menhurst, Rocker, and waiting down Holland for Didak. Open goal. Magpies in front.
No.
He missed. He missed. Most of them think they're in front. They've got a rude shock in front of them. Kangaroos by a point. A big kick in. Petrie takes the important mark. How much time is left? Collingwood must man up. Petrie's going to try and ice the clock. Simpson will be in no hurry. Kangaroos lead by a point.
Oh, corners. What do you tip them by?
I tip them by a point.
I tipped this. Oh, no.
Simpson to Jones. No free kick. The ball trickles over the line. That's what Collingwood wanted. 32.25 minutes ticked over. Kangas by a point.
It's been amazing, hasn't it? Various stages. Both teams have had their 100 chances to win it.
Who can make the takeaway here? Reshaw was held. No free kick. Pendlebury. Oh, terrific smother by Corey Jones. Thomas, good ball. Wakeland had the better of Thompson, and the Kangaroos keep it in. Long quarter.
Seems unusual to say this, but it was almost better off to go through for a point.
McIntosh against Wood. Jones, 1 goal, 5 against his name. Shannon Grant around the corner was a great kick. Campbell, can he seal it? He does! The Roos are home. Third goal to Matt Campbell. The Kangaroos have had to fight for it. But it looks as though they've got it.
Well, if they get it, it's been one of those victories again, hasn't it? Just plenty of sheer hard work with the occasional bit of brilliance, but that's a great snap, great read, and there's small players late in the game who've come to the fore. Campbell and Thomas, 6 goals between them.
And that's probably been the difference in the game, Blighty, in their respective forward 50s. When Collingwood go forward, they haven't been quite able to find the same level of ground level support as what the Kangaroos have.
Kangaroos have kicked 7 goals in the last quarter, all from crunning forwards.
Yeah.
As we start things again, Wood throws it on the boot. Leon Davis. No, play on, said the umpire. Hit the ground. Swans run down. Here's Harvey. What a night he's had. 33rd disposal to Ferrito. And the Kangaroos are on a break. McIntosh goes for a leisurely stroll and drives it as long as he can. Campbell against Clark. Clark solid in front. Run down. Had to play on. Had no choice. Did well in the end to Pendlebury. We've gone 34.5 minutes. Harvey over the top to his skipper. Now McIntosh says, I'll take it. He pumps it long inside 50. Oh, almost an impossible mark there to Campbell. Clark again. He's wrapped up by 2 Kangaroos. We'll have a bounce. There it is. Famous victory for the Shinboners against the Magpies. What a game of football at the MCG.
And sing it one and all.